We're live. Let's go. We started early. It's Monday. Welcome. BBC Ken Dizzle is back with another live streaming Zwift, Tour De Zwift 2024. We are in New York riding the Richmond Route. This one's called Knickerbocker. Glory! Glory comes at the end. We will sweat. We will climb some elevation, roughly about 345 meters of elevation, around about 22 miles. Ooh, I mean kilometers, miles. Here's me trying to cycle further than I want to. Anyway, I've finished work. My usual routine is to finish work, come upstairs, jump onto the old turbo trainer, ride Zwift and talk to you guys about my experiences. So as always, questions in the chat. I'll reply to all questions either in the live stream or in the replay. Thanks for joining. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It's a great way of showing your appreciation, and we love collecting subs. It means our videos get circulated to more people. Right, should we go? We've got the sprint theme on. It's nice and lively. I haven't had the luxury of having a warm-up before I started, so the first 5-10 minutes is going to be getting my legs nicely warm. Luckily the elevation isn't too high, 3%, 2%, and we're in the beautiful sights of New York. You'll see some excellent elevations. Let's go! Whew. So on today's agenda, we are talking everything training, fitness-wise, cycling, tips on getting started on Zwift, as always. And we talk a little bit about the New York route, some of the things we see as we're cycling. So whether you're new to Zwift, you've not used it before, hopefully by watching this, you can learn about turbo trainers, indoor cycling, and riding Zwift, this online cycling game thing. Here it is. Let me get my breath and we get into it. Whew. So the current temperature in the Cottage Cottage, my little cycling gym room, currently 20 degrees, so pretty cool, but it will get hotter. Sweat's already started to form on my brow. Whew. I do have a couple of fans though to keep me nice and cool, and I have those on some smart plugs, so after a set time each of those fans kick in, starts getting me cool. Oh, I need it already. Heart rate's reading a little bit low. It's not 91, but heart rate's just above me. You consider watts I'm pushing out, 180, 170 at the moment. Cadence is around about 85, 86 RPMs. The heart rate's saying 92, but right now it's probably about 140, 144. Give it a few minutes, it will settle in. Check out the New York skyline in the background. Oh, this is hot. I might have to start that fan earlier. Okay, Google, turn on gym fan. Oh, whew. Oh yeah, oh, that feels so good. It's like your first hit of coffee. A little bit of downhill. Nice and lively. So normally I start on Monday and I'm going zone 2, maybe a little bit of zone 3. This is kind of where I am at the moment. You can see my graph just below here. Colours blue, blue zone 2, green is zone 3, and I want to keep it mostly blue with a bit of green. This is just nice and light. Get myself started for the week. My training day starts on a Monday. Oh, I love that pink bike. So start Monday nice and easy. Spin the legs out. Don't want to put too much pressure on the legs. Be suffering through the rest of the week. Then my next ride, usually a little bit harder. I might do some intervals on a workout. If I'm lucky and I can find a race, I might do a race. Some rest days in between. Rest is as important as the actual workout itself. I eat well. I try to get enough sleep, but you know how it is. I don't know, maybe you're more disciplined than I am. Are you disciplined in your training? Do you make sure you get your minimum 8 hours sleep? Eat healthy. Get a balance of work and rest. Multiple sports disciplines. I'll talk about some of my disciplines. Probably on the downhill section. We're climbing now at 5%. I don't really want to go any harder than this. I want to keep it around about 2 watts per kilogram. So if you look on the right side, where the bike cam is, this menu going down here, you can see that blue bar there. That's me on that little list. Ken does a black cyclist. And if you look closer, you can see my current watts per kilogram, as well as all the other cyclists who are here as well. You can see S. McDonald grinding it over 3 watts per kilogram. I'm chilling. Chill up the hill. We'll see if we can get some top speeds on the way down. Hope for a nice power up to assist us. We'll try for a 1200 watt sprint towards the end. Do you think I can hit 1200 watts? What do you reckon? Put some in the comments. And if you can do more than 1200, let's hear about it. Post your record max sprint. It doesn't have to be 1200. If your max sprint is 200, let's hear about that as well. Then we can talk about what that means, what your progression is likely to be like. Okay. This bit's a bit, I say flat, it's actually downhill. It's -5. I can actually super tuck, or not quite. Started climbing again. So the super tuck, it's banned by the UCI in UCI races. In Zwift, obviously it's a simulation, so can't really ban things in a simulation, can you? But if you're travelling faster than 56 kilometers an hour and the gradient is higher than -3, your rider will go into a super tuck position, which makes you more aero. So you basically get to build up speed, and you don't really need to pedal. Oh. Right, so there's 1 degree increase in the temperature at the moment. Still maintaining around about 2 watts per kilogram. You can see my heart rate's got to where I said it would be. 140. What you probably find, if you are using a heart rate monitor and you're cycling or training regular, you start to build up familiarity with where your body is. So for example, when I was ill about a year ago, with that big thing that everyone got around the world. Jumped on the bike, and my heart rate for the same effort was around about 10 to 15 beats per minute faster. So even though I was kind of feeling able to ride, my body was telling me something different, and the second fans kicked in. Oh yes, that feels so good. The sweat's doing its job. It's cooling me down. My big fan blower at the front of me is like a headwind. So even though I'm going uphill and I'm only going 18 kilometers an hour, I've got the effect of if I was going downhill and going at about 30 or 40 kilometers an hour. So we're 11 minutes in, 5 kilometers down, 17 kilometers left. I am starting to feel settled in now. Like I said, 10 minutes is the minimum kind of warm up, get your body settled. 20 minutes, I'm usually feeling, you know, okay, I'm settled. I feel comfortable. I can check around who's around me. Do I feel comfortable? What's my pacing going to be like for the rest of this ride or race? So what I want to do now to make this ride, these 17 kilometers, a lot more comfortable and bearable, I really want to find a group to settle in with. And it might be this group I'm with now. We might form a nice little bunch. So you have to try and work out, are they travelling either at the pace you're travelling at or the pace you're comfortable travelling at? So I'm more or less with them. I'm within the draft position, so we're shielding from all that headwind coming towards us. I'm just going to look across at this menu in front. Look at the riders ahead. See where they are. R. Smith is 3 watts per kilogram, 1.8. Yeah, so they're more or less roughly at the same effort that I'm putting out. So don't get carried away or caught up in what the WKG means. It's watts per kilogram, and it's basically the watts you're putting out divided by your weight in kilograms, and that gives you an indication of your power output. So it's obviously unique to each individual. You weigh what you weigh, I weigh what I weigh, you're pedaling whatever you're pedaling, but it gives you more or less a ballpark. Someone who's like 50 kilograms, let's say they're traveling 100, they're going 100 watts. So that'll be the equivalent of 2 watts per kilogram. So it's the watts, 100, divided by the weight, which is 50. So that's 2 watts per kilogram. And to make it easier on the maths, so let's say, for example, I'll make it really easy. Let's say someone's 100 kilograms and they're also doing 100 watts. Yeah? So you can see their watts per kilogram is going to be 100 divided by 100. So they will be 1 watt per kilogram. So if their watts per kilogram of the 100 kilogram person and the 50 kilogram person was matched, then the heavier person will be putting out 50 watts, and then you'd have the same watts per kilogram. So that's the only way how you can compare watts per kilogram against different riders. But in the race situation, with all the Zwift calculations and whatnot, each of those riders, the lighter and the heavier rider, should more or less be able to travel at roughly the same sort of pace. Anyway, I've probably over-explained it, but quite simply, if you know your average that you tend to travel at, look at your ride summary after a ride. It'll tell you what your average watts are. So let's say your average watts were 200 and you weighed, I don't know, 50 kilograms. Let's make the maths really, really easy. 100 divided by 50 equals 4, so that'd be 4 watts per kilogram. So in terms of picking a ride, you'd want to be somewhere below that figure. Not unless you thought riding at that pace, you had plenty of spare, say, leg room for pedals, leg room for extra effort. So I know that if I want to do like a zone 2 ride, I'm looking for a ride that's somewhere between 1.8 and 2.5 watts per kilogram. So I'll pick a group ride or one of the robot pacers who's riding at that pace. And it means we'll be more or less keeping up with everyone else. So that's watts per kilogram. And I was right about this little group. We're all settled in, all travelling more or less the same pace. You can see our numbers for watts per kilogram are pretty much matching. So here we go, we've got a nice exciting bit here. We go into some tunnels. It's time to elevate. We're going high up into the New York Skyline. Drafting, we should hopefully pick up a few other riders as we go. We have a nice see-through glass floor. Look below. Hello, people. Oh, look. They look like ants below. Oh no, they are ants. Anyway, on this section here, if you have a feather power up, as you get to the steeper section, which is around the corner, it will ramp up to 15, 18, 20. I think we also get 22% gradient. That's where you want to fire off your feather power up to make you a bit lighter, make that climb that's a little bit more easier. I've got the aero, sorry, not aero, the draft power up, that's the truck. So not really the best place for the draft while you're climbing the hill, already going slow. You're not really getting much of a draft benefit, but I will use it before I go through the next gate at the top of this climb so I can collect a new one. And no doubt, as always, you always seem to get a feather after you've done a big climb. Yes, let's do some ride-ons. Chilling, chilling, chilling. So I have been riding Zwift for about 3.5 years now. So this is, I think it's the 3rd year of riding the New York routes. I experienced it for the first time probably around about 3 years ago. It was probably, it might have actually been Tour De Zwift again. So this is the New York KOM, 1.4 kilometers, 6.5%, average gradient T, 15%. We're getting steep. Look at the speed, I'm only going like 4 kilometers an hour. I can get off and walk faster. Here's where being lighter gives you that advantage. You've got the weight advantage. I'm not in a race. It's still a zone 2 day. As in, not taking it too hard. Start the week as you mean to go on. Or prepare yourself for the week so that you can go on. 10%. Spinning at a decent cadence so it doesn't feel too heavy. As you get steeper, I will probably drop my cadence around about 70. "14 kilometers. I might also drop this draft now. Not really going to get much of a benefit from it. Spin the legs up. Get up to about 90 RPMs. Still keeping the same gear. I should probably creep up into yellow, a bit of green yellow. But that's fine. Don't mind a bit of yellow. I'm trying to stay mostly blue-green. Right, leveling off for a bit. This is just to trick you. So these guys have already been up and they're back down again. They're the fast guys. Right. So this is the bit where you're going to see the gradient really ramp up here to about 22%. Oh, come on, let's get it. Let's get it. So the fastest person's done it in 3 minutes, 11 seconds. They're obviously flying round. Place your guesses. What time do you think I will complete this KOM in? It's 1.4 kilometers, 6.5% average gradient. Right now it's 16%. I've not been on this route for a while, so I don't know whether it's going to bring up my most recent fastest time, but feel free to guess in the comments. Or you can just play along in your head. No one will know. It's just between you and you. So we've got about half of the total elevation for this ride so far. I'm feeling good. This isn't too taxing. Everything bagel is the stage A, group A. I'll probably do that later on in the week. It's a bit longer and it's double the amount of elevation. But you know what elevation means? Gains. That's what makes you stronger. So we climb the top. We'll talk a little bit more about training and about getting set up on Zwift, and a quick overview of what some of these data screens are. 8% gradient, climbing New York. So great they named it twice. %, 16, 17, that's it. We've maxed out at 17. That entrance looks like the New Street train station. Anyone know Birmingham New Street train station? It's ahead. We're about to drive into the train station. Choo choo. It's the Zwift train. Okay, so we're at the top. So the fastest time was 3 minutes 11. So I've got a little bit more to go. What do you reckon? How many minutes? 7, 8, 9, more than 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. There's the last climb ahead. There's probably about 200 meters and a small climb. Let's have it, come on. Six kilometers an hour. That's how steep this hill is. 14%, 15%. 16%. We're peaking. We're peaking. "22 degrees. Oh. Here we go. So what power ups are we going to get? Andre, ride on. I reckon feather. Oh, another draft. Ariane, ride on. So we've got some downhill now. So we talk about some of the Zwift, what you can see on the screen. We'll start with the top left. That's my power being pulled out, 145 watts. My pedal speed is the RPM, heart rate 146. The little van icon is the draft button. I'm going to do this Supertuck now. So you see I've gone into the tuck position. I'll come out of it as the gradient drops. There we go. I'm raving in my rave hat. There you go. Supertuck activated. You'll see my speed increase, 61 kilometers going up. So just above, but to the right. So you can see my distance traveled, 11 kilometers. Total elevation, 230 meters of elevation. I'm out of the Supertuck. You can see the rider position has changed. We're coming to the end of here, so I want to start pedaling. Elapsed time is the next one across. And the high numbers, like that 9 million something, they're my Zwift currency, so like Zwift drops. I can go back into Supertuck again. I might end up sticking with these guys if I'm lucky. And then far right of the screen, you can see all of the other riders. So you can see the guys in front. E-bike, Muller, Vindel, Rich, Becker. That's all of us. So we're going to go back to normal view. We've hopefully ride the last 10 kilometers with this little bunch. Riding with a group means you all get the draft effect. And typically we'll swap around, we'll rotate the person in front. But the person in front is going to be getting all of the headwind. Everyone else is benefiting from the draft. When you have a good group of riders, we can all work together towards that common goal, you know, completing it. So I'm taking the first pull. People drafting behind me. In a minute, I'll either purposely drop back, or someone might just take up the reins and end up being in front for a bit. And the colourful ribbon across here, it's like the graphical indicator of the power that I've been putting out. The heart rate is the red line above, and everything else is the effort. So I'm blue now, zone 2. Put a bit more effort. I'll turn it green. More effort, yellow, even more effort, red. But I want to stay blue-green. Let's do some ride-ons. So ride-ons like the thumbs up for the people around you. It's like a head nod. Stuff in your car. That's the menus. We were talking earlier a little bit about the training that I do. So I was saying that I start my week off on a Monday. I like to do a zone 2, zone 3 ride. 5 cycles a week, 4 to 5. 3 as a minimum. And within that, I like to mix up between some long rides a recovery ride, chilled zone 2 ride, and either a race or a workout. And if I'm lucky, I can get 2 of those in a week. And I mix that in with doing some home workouts, just body weights, resistance bands, yoga, some core work, working on my flexibility. And obviously your core is going to help you in everything. Walking, working out, right? Working out with your significant other, if you're of age and capable. But yeah, look after your fitness, get a balance, try to do more good things than bad things, and I think it'll all balance out. No one's saying you've got to be working at the levels of elite athletes. Oh, it's hard enough for them to do it. Get a balance, you'll thank yourself as you get older. Anyway, that's enough waffle about training. Let's talk about this group in front. So right now I'm currently not drafting. I want to push the watts up a bit, get behind them, and hopefully ride the last 8.5 kilometres in with these guys. So now that I'm on, I'm going to fire off this power up, benefit from an additional draft boost from this group. This is really chilled. This is a nice pace to be at. They've dropped back a bit. I don't want to waste my power up. They're going too slow now. I'm not sure what happened then. Maybe I'm heavier, so I've rolled through a little bit of a climb. You can still all the autumn colours, all those yellows and bronzes. And thankfully there were no leaves on the road. That could be quite slippy if you're braking. Although you don't have to brake in Zwift. There is a brake. I don't know how you brake, but there is a brake. Then you just roll to a stop. There were no traffic lights, so I don't need to jump through the red lights. Some people, certain motorists, will have you believe that all cyclists jump all red lights all the time and will make out as if they've never ever seen of, heard of, witnessed a car breaking the rules, the highway code over here in the UK, whatever your rules are in your country. So we do have lots of viewers from all around the world, just like there's lots of cyclists from all around the world. I mean, look at the menu. Look at all the different flags and nationalities. I can't name them all, but Germany, Italy, Scotland, Denmark. What else we got here? Can't name any more. Australia, loads of Aussies on, loads of Canadians, loads of Americans. I don't know how many different countries people are representing on Zwift. But right now there are 596 in this group ride. We're riding in New York. There's probably around about 10,000 people on Zwift at the moment. That's usually the numbers. Oh, okay, so there's 27,500 people cycling in Zwift right now. 27,684. So we're not quite peak Zwift. But hey, it's only 5:15. 5:35. Oh, gained 20 minutes. Everyone in the UK, this side of Europe, finishing work on their way home. US guys are just finishing lunch. This number will increase as the hours tick by. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. If you aren't already subscribed, check out some of my other videos. I don't just do cycling. I also have a segment on solar panels, documenting my journey, getting solar panels installed and a storage battery. I'm just trying to see how much money I can save and be more green and efficient. with my energy usage. All of my equipment is either energy saving on a smart plug, linked into my home automations, and even the fact that I'm streaming and cycling now, I am streaming and cycling on 100% green energy, the BBC sustainably sourced. So electricity generated today from my solar array. Hey, check the time. I'm speaking and it rhymes. So I have a lot of videos documenting my journey through solar, some energy saving tips. If you're wondering how much electricity I use, Zwifting, cooling myself down with my multiple fans, even streaming. I'll have some shorts videos after the live. You can find those by clicking one of the links above. And I also do lots of short form videos trying to promote positivity in cycling, setting a rebalancing the impression that a lot of the I guess the motoring public have about cyclists. A lot of them think we're all mindless, red light jumping, old people, dog scaring, dominating the cycle lane hooligans. Now there are some bad examples. In the same sense as not everyone is running cyclists over, injuring pedestrians, drink driving, all the bad things, using their mobile phones. There's always some people who are willing to break the law and not go with the norm. So I like to demonstrate that when I am out IRL on the bike, cycling locally for fun or on the trails, people I come across, whether that's in a bike lane, in a cycle lane, on a shared path, in a park, footpath, wild away, call it what you want, it's a shared space. When I do come across people, I'm kind, courteous, respectful, and sometimes I even stop to stroke the cute dogs and have a chat. So I'll post a video later this week showing that exact example, stopping and spending a couple of minutes just chatting to people that I meet on some of the local trails. And hopefully in that interaction I've left them, well, one, knowing a little bit about me and what I do. I will sometimes tell them about the free bikes for kids that I like to collect and do up and give out to local kids and young people in the community. But also just that, you know what, I was out today and I met this cyclist, black cyclist as well, you don't see many of them, do you? And you know what, he was ever so polite. That's how all us Brits speak. He was ever so polite. Yeah, was that a drone? Was that a drone flying there, or was it a slow flying bird? I think it was a slow flying bird. It looked like a drone just hovering down. Anyway, so try and spread that positive example that we are friendly, we are polite. Don't let one or two bad experiences that you've had or heard of be the ideal that you put on all cyclists. Anyway, should we go back to this ride? I'm still zone 2 in it. Heart rate's settled a bit below 140. Obviously I've been taking it a little bit easy. Chilling with this dude here. He's just popped into Supertuck. Maybe I should as well. Briefly. -6, here you go. We're tucking, baby, we're tucking. Little bit of recovery for these last 5 kilometers. So we've done 17.5 kilometers. We're about to come out this tuck. Here you go, -2. Start pedaling. And I see this guy in front on the Tron bike. Wants to chill with the BBC. Riding in for the last 4.6. So no questions in the chat at the moment. But if you have a question, now's the time. Now's the time. If you want to see some of the menu when this route ride finishes, I will happily hop into the menu, show you some of the Zwift display, how to select different things. Just a short climb here, 5%. If I remember this route well, we do finish off with a little bit of a rollers type climb, which can sometimes zap your legs in a race condition, but my legs feel quite good actually. First race of the week, or first ride of the week, is always easier on the legs, unless you've had a heavy weekend. But I don't drink, so that's good. I'm not hungover. Sweating out the alcohol as you're trying to grind out them watts. What am I on? So you see my cadence just above me, 87. I want to get it about 90. There you go. 90 cadence, 92, 93. Spinning and winning and grinning. So I've really enjoyed this ride. I think if you look back and you watch the ride from last week, my face was pretty much I was hating it because of the effort, but inside secretly loving it, because if you're hurting, I don't mean like pain that's like dangerous, like if you're struggling, your heart rate's up, you're working, you're sweating, that's where the gains live. That's where you earn your gains, eh? No one's gonna pay you for not working, staying in bed, not unless your job is sleeping or testing out beds. If you don't get up and go to work, you don't get paid. So if you don't get the watts up, start sweating, you won't get paid with gains, strength gains, speed gains, muscle gains. You know how it is. I think are we in Central Park? Is this Central Park? Back in the day, in Birmingham, here you go. Kenny shares some of his younger life with you. Back in the day, in Birmingham, where I was born and brought up, Birmingham, England, you know, the first one. So there was this bar in the city centre called Central Park, and that used to be the place to go back when I was like 19, early 20s, drinking Skull White Top, then after the nightclub, free entry or discounted entry into the Ritzy. Whew. That was when I'd hung up my raving hat and gloves, white gloves. So every time I see over here at Central Park, it reminds me of that bar. Timmy Tim, just give me a ride on. How do, Tim? We need to do a race, Tim. Hey, just saying, Tim's actually dropped from Group B to Group C, so now's the chance for me to really try and catch up with where Tim is. But I won't really catch up. I'll probably like shorten that gap between us. It's good though to have someone who you've already trained with who's stronger or better than you, because then you can get stronger and get better by trying to keep up to their pace or work to their pace. Chilling. Right, so today's Monday, the 5th of February. We've had a long January 2024. That's kicked off pretty good. I was destroyed last week, which is why you didn't see me that much, but my diet is on point. I'm eating well. I do my intermittent fasting, keep an eye on my calories, try and eat healthy and try not to consume too many bad calories, keep the fitness up, try to make sure that on most days I'm in a small deficit, keep myself fit, keep myself strong, get myself shredded for the summer, sun's out, guns out. So the plan for the rest of the week, if you'd like to watch me live, if you don't see me live here, I'm either taking a day off or I'm back on my main live home channel over on Twitch. Can we mention Twitch? I just have. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ken Dizzle. Make sure the first E in Ken is the number 3. I'll be back probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. If on Wednesday I'll do a workout, something hard, maybe VO2. Get that heart rate above 160, 170. Start sweating. I might need 2 towels. And this track, just play this track on loop. This track, this is a track that means like business. It's like, yeah man, this isn't like a zone 2 track. This is like, are you here to work? Or are you here to stroll? If you're here to stroll, get off the bike and just walk. You Funk? What an awesome name. Big shout out to You Funk. Let's give him a ride on. $2K left. Heart rate it stayed a pretty constant, 139, 140. Yoga workouts later this week. I also swim 4 or 5 days a week. I'll be in the pool tomorrow lunchtime. Get my mile swimming. And that's what I do to just try to maintain overall fitness. So with the cycling, it's given me quite a hefty chunk of cardiovascular. I keep trying to say cardiovascular. Does that mean I've got a testicle obsession? Maybe just 2. In the bag. Right. Last mile. Come on, you Funk. Grab my wheel. Let's do it. Let's ride to the end. Come on. Right. Earlier, I did talk quite boisterously about potentially doing a 1200 watt sprint. I think I can do a 1200 watt seated sprint. 1000 probably. Can I do a 1000 watt sprint? We'll try. Should we try both? Try for 1000 watt sprinted, seated. 1200 watt standing. Check the gears. Last kilometre. Let's charge this up. Come on, you Funk. My fellow. Oh, I thought it was a brick. What's that German? Take over. That's the brick behind. 1000 watts. I think my record is 12.92. Although for some reason there's a glitch on Zwift which says I've got 15. I'm not even trying to claim the credit. Sometimes when you've stopped pedaling and when you start, sometimes get a power spike. But it wasn't me, unfortunately. I can't claim that credit. Okay. 500 meters left. It's just a lap around the running track. 400 meters. Thank you all for tuning in, watching, listening to me ramble on. 200 meters left. Should we do the sprint? Let's get my gears up. Oh, I'm in last gear. Oh, but it's uphill. That's all I got. I don't think I made 1,000, did I? Uphill sprinting. No! Right, I'll take that. 154 watts average. 366 meters of elevation. 22.7 kilometers. That was a good ride. Thanks for joining with me. I really would appreciate your feedback on this video or any of my other videos. So leave a comment in this video, or if you do get a chance to watch any of my other videos, whether that's the videos on cycling, solar panels, shorts videos, my bike reviews, my Cycling videos, let us know what you think. Do you think I'm on the right track? Do we go too far on some subjects? Should I cover something else? Or maybe there's a type of video I've done that you'd like to see more of, but maybe less. You can't say stop doing live streams, we hate these. That's not allowed. So I've got another aero power up. It's not even worth using. Let's fire it off without moving. Look, aero at 66 watts. It's like I'm eating a chocolate aero. So we will wrap this up 2:23, and we wrap up the stream. So if you haven't subscribed already, give us a subscribe, like the video, and that's enough begging for your subscriptions. All in all, I'm just happy that you've tuned in and that you enjoy the content. Right, so we've done 23. This was New York. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next live stream.